All right, welcome back to the channel. This hatred when it comes to Rwanda and people of Rwanda is getting slightly ridiculous now. We've been talking about it for the past few months. I'm not even the biggest fan of the Rwanda deal because some of the clauses inside is counterproductive. We're sending a couple of migrants, but we're going to have to take back some of the vulnerable migrants as well. But that aside, the SNP and Labour in Parliament are having a meltdown every single day because they say, well, if we send France's migrants, that's what I call them, France's migrants, to Rwanda, then their feelings will be hurt. This is Joanna Cherry, the SNP MP, who's come out massively against this idea and used one of the select committees to talk about human rights. Well, this is the Human Rights Committee in the House of Commons, and the Joint Committee on by the way, human rights is kind of basically both houses of Parliament anyway. So the issue that we have is that when we talk about human rights, when we talk about it from the conservative side, from the non-socialist side, let's just say, we're talking about something that we already had in this country, and if we leave the ECHR or change the Human Rights Act, doesn't mean we're not going to have human rights. We're simply going to have it with our own a set of rules that we had before the European project even existed. Now, this is the main point. Now, this letter that Joanna Cherry has decided to send to the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, is a bit dramatic. Classic drama llama. So, I'm writing as the chair of the Joint Committee on Human Rights, who set out the committee's concerns in respect of the human rights implications of the Rwanda deal. This agreement directly concerns human rights because it affects asylum seekers, people claiming refuge in the UK from human rights abuses in their own country. France? Really? Okay. The thing is, I get it that, a lot of people, if they're desperate and if they know that they're not going to get accepted in France, then they will attempt to go somewhere else. But if they are genuinely just desperate that they don't want to go back to their own country, then it doesn't matter where they are. A safe haven is a safe haven. Now, we know that there had historically been issues in Rwanda. But the whole point of this agreement, to be a devil's advocate for once, is that we've already signed a deal to make them behave. And that's the whole point. And if they don't behave, then we know, then we can actually act on it. That's simply, and then you can send a letter then, Joanna Cherry. But you don't even know what's going to happen. We still haven't even sent one person there. And you're already being dramatic about it. This is just completely not about the actual refugees, not about Rwanda. It's simply about their own agenda. Because if they really care about people in need across the world, then what's the number? Where is the limit? What, millions? Billions? Everybody? Yeah, in that case, everyone in Rwanda should also come here, right? Everyone from everywhere should come here. But they don't understand. These are the same idiots on the left who keep talking about collective responsibility and collectivism. Well, if it's about collectivism and cooperation, then why not go to the other nations and get them to be responsible, get them to take their own fair share that you always talk about? But no, you don't really ask France why they're not keeping the people there. You're not asking Macron why he's pushing people out of France to come here. And actually dangerous routes. If you really care about their well-being and these people who are crossing the English Channel, you do realize they're in danger too, right? They don't care about that. Absolutely not. But they don't care about the identity of this country, the system, the culture that we have. They have no idea but why people are kicking off, because all they care about is to just completely disrupt the system, bring down the whole culture and the whole nation, because if they do that, then that's when they can start from scratch. That's the whole ideology. It's been going on for decades and decades, since Karl Marx, and the failed attempt initially and turned all the socialists and communists into dictators. Then the second attempt was to play the system. They infiltrated from the 50s and 60s onwards, and that's what they want to do. To play the system, ruin the system, so they could start from scratch. That is the reality, and no one is brave to talk about it. But it's fine. We are going to fight for Britain. We are going to fight for our values. We will not obey to this Build Back Better nonsense. We are going to do Build Back Britain. This is our new merch, by the way. Check out the link in the description. Get your merch, because it's going to go hand in hand with our new upcoming tour and campaign that I'm setting up. Grassroots campaign to fight for the values of this country, the English identity and British values, and all the nations in our union, because this is the only way we can fight back. We can't really rely on politicians and the political class anymore. It is what it is. So subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi and we are the media.